let's jump right into this. Because right now, we're looking at a truly bifurcated reality when it comes to Thailand's 2026 economy. If you're a foreign investor, understanding this landscape, it's no longer just about spotting opportunities. It's about navigating a highly specific set of legal and economic realities safely. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what the Thai economy looks like today, where the lucrative business opportunities for foreigners actually are, and honestly, most importantly, we're going to give you a detailed look at the restrictions and precautions you absolutely must know to survive here. So, on one hand, you've got a rather sluggish macroeconomic forecast. According to Krunsry Research, they're predicting a mere 1.8% GDP growth for Thailand this year. That is a very noticeable slowdown. It's being heavily weighed down by structural issues, like household debt stubbornly sitting above 80% of GDP and a really slow recovery in domestic consumption. People just aren't spending like they used to. But, and here is where it gets wild. This brilliantly illustrates the paradox we're seeing, because simultaneously, while that domestic growth is dragging, foreign direct investment, or FDI, surged a massive 46% in January 2026 alone compared to the previous year. We're talking over 33 billion baht flowing in. So you have to ask yourself, what's the disconnect here? Why on earth is foreign money pouring into a slowing domestic economy? To make sense of this market, here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the 2026 Thai economic overview, followed by rising and declining businesses, then the golden opportunities for foreign investors, next the legal framework and restrictions, and finally, business pitfalls and precautions. Section 1. 2026 Thai economic overview. What's really interesting from the World Bank's monthly economic monitor is that economic momentum actually strengthened at the very start of 2026. This was surprisingly driven by stronger global demand for electronics and some lingering fiscal stimulus from late 2025. So there are definitely real pockets of economic strength if you know where to look. However, that broader recovery is heavily constrained by some serious headwinds. We already mentioned that massive household debt, but you also have to factor in shifting geopolitical trade tensions, specifically increased U.S. import taxes, and a fragile tourism sector that is still really struggling to attract Chinese arrivals at pre-pandemic levels. The domestic purchasing power, it's just not where it used to be. Section 2. Rising and declining businesses. The Thai Chamber of Commerce highlights a stark contrast here. It's practically two different economies. Digital services, AI, green tech like EVs, and healthcare are absolutely thriving right now, riding the wave of global megatrends. Conversely, traditional businesses, print media, traditional retail, used cars, and copy shops are facing severe declines. The message here is crystal clear. You have to make sure you're in the right sector. Section 3. Golden opportunities for foreign investors. Investors from Japan, Singapore, and China totally understand this shift, and they are pouring capital into high-value manufacturing and digital services. But listen, they aren't just coming for the local market. They are coming for the incredibly lucrative, incentivized investment pathways that Thailand has specifically set up to attract exactly this kind of money. Enter the Board of Investment, or BOI. Their promotion regime offers massive tax holidays based on technology levels. If you're in an A1 tier, think R&D heavy, knowledge-based industries, you can get up to 8 years of corporate income tax exemption plus a 50% reduction for another 5 years. And the kicker? Alongside that, you get 100% foreign ownership and the right to own land, which is normally heavily restricted for foreigners. And oh, it gets even better. If you locate your business in the Eastern Economic Corridor, or EEC, which covers Jeonbori, Rayong, and Chatuengsao, these perks actually stack on top of the BOI benefits. You're looking at potential 99-year land leases, customs-free zones, and capping top-tier expat personal income tax at just 17%. It's an incredibly powerful package for qualifying tech and green energy firms. But securing these incentives requires navigating a very strict 5-step application process. Getting this right is vital. Step 1, the pre-application consultation is absolutely critical. As Swanwara Law Firm notes, choosing the wrong BOI categorization early on can force a refile and cost you months of delays. You literally have to map your business activity perfectly to their targeted lists. Section 4. Legal framework and restrictions. Okay, let's talk rules. The baseline law you absolutely must understand is the Foreign Business Act, or FBA. It categorizes businesses into 3 lists.
List 1 is strictly prohibited for foreigners, List 2 requires cabinet approval, and List 3, which covers almost all service businesses, retail and wholesale, restricts foreigners because, quote, Thais are not yet ready to compete. By default, you cannot hold 49% or more of a company in these lists without a specific license or exemption.
Fortunately, we are seeing some positive movement here. A recent 2026 cabinet move drafted by the Ministry of Commerce removes 9 specific activities from FBI restrictions entirely. This includes things like telecommunications, treasury centers, and securities lending. Why? Because they're already regulated by specific authorities like the Bank of Thailand. This is a huge step toward eliminating regulatory duplication for foreign investors in those niches. So the bottom line is that if you operate in a restricted list, which most of you will be, you must navigate through one of 8 legitimate pathways to secure 100% foreign ownership legally. We've already talked about the BOI and EEC, but you also have options like industrial estate zones or applying for a foreign business license directly. Keep in mind that choosing between these pathways is a highly strategic decision, like a game of chess. For instance, if you're a U.S. citizen, the U.S. Treaty of Amity acts as a fantastic shield, allowing 100% ownership in many sectors. However, it lacks the tax subsidies and land rights of the BOI. Some really smart investors actually use a hybrid setup, Amity for their operating company and BOI for their manufacturing arm. Section 5. Business Pitfalls and Precautions. Please take this blunt warning from Suwan Vara Law Firm to heart. Attempting to bypass foreign ownership limits by using a Thai nominee, which basically means paying a local to hold 51% of the shares in name only, is completely illegal. It is heavily scrutinized by the Department of Business Development, and it is absolutely the fastest way to land yourself in a criminal case. I'm not exaggerating. The real-world consequences here are severe. Operating restricted activities without proper licensing carries up to 3 years in prison for nominees, massive daily fines of up to 50,000 baht, and importantly, it exposes foreign directors to strict personal liability. Under Thai corporate law, you, as a director, can be held personally liable for regulatory noncompliance, even if you are sitting halfway across the world. And beyond ownership, you must prepare for operational realities that often catch foreigners totally off guard. Unless you have BOI promotion, standard rules require you to hire 4 Thai employees for every single foreign work permit you sponsor, plus 2 million baht in registered capital per permit. And do not ignore the Personal Data Protection Act, or PDPA. Processing data incorrectly can trigger fines up to a whopping 5 million baht. So as you look to tap into Thailand's booming foreign investment wave and navigate this K-shaped economy, I want to leave you with this critical question to think about. Is your planned business structure truly a legal shield, or is it secretly a hidden liability? Before you sign any leases, before you hire a single staff member, make sure you are firmly on the right side of that bifurcated regulatory path. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build a much safer, more profitable strategy in Thailand this year.